All right, everybody, this is Mr. Ainsworth. We're going to get into section 7 here in algebra of our first unit, and we're going to solve and graph each inequality here. Solve and graph, okay? Two things. We're going to solve it first, and then we're going to graph its solution, okay, as it states right here. So get your red pen out because I usually color code my lesson here, and you might want to do that too so you can help see the fine points here. And let's get started. Okay, first we got to solve it. So let's take 13 here. 13 less than 7 plus k. All right, and k is being added to 7, so we're going to add its opposite, which is a negative 7. All right, that's how you isolate the variable here. K is on the right-hand side. And remember, this right here, this divides the equation into two sides, the left side on the left, obviously, and then we got the 7 plus k on the right. So if I subtract 7, I got to be balanced, and I've got to do the same thing on both sides. So subtract 7 on both sides. Opposites cancel out to 0. 0 plus k is k. And so we have 6 is less than k. And you can graph it from here. If you understand that 6 is less than, some number here, 6 is less than 7, so 7 is the solution. 6 is less than 8, so 8 is the solution. 6 is less than 9, so that's a solution too. You can graph it from there, okay? 6 is not less than 6, so our reference point right here, this 6 is our reference point. It's not a solution, so you know it's going to be open there. So the question is, where are the solutions? Well, the solutions are that satisfy this equation. So since 6 is less than 7, 7's got to be a solution. 6 is less than 8, so 8's got to be a solution. 6 is less than 9, so it's got to be a solution. So the answer's got to be over here. But then you might be asking, why is that? Because you're used to seeing the variable on the left-hand side. So what you need to learn is how to switch the inequality. So let's write that down. Switch. All right, the order of the inequality. Switch the order of, it's called an inequality, not a sign, but the inequality. That's what it's called. So switch the inequality. And when we do that, you have to know how to do it properly. So let me do a little side example here. All right, it's a side example. So we know that 2 is less than 3. I'm just making up some numbers here. We know 2 is less than 3. If I switch the order of the numbers here, 3 and 2, and obviously it looks like this, right? I switch the order. But if 2 is less than 3, that means 3 is greater than 2. And if you switch the order, you got to switch the inequality. All right? So if you switch the order, all right, switch the inequality. So you have to know things like that. So 6 is less than k, which means that k is greater than 6. All right? All numbers greater than 6. And so that's why it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, everything to the right of 6. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, next one. Negative 8 plus m is less or equal to negative 16. Let's go through it. All right, so we're going to, m is being added to negative 8. Well, the opposite of negative 8 is a positive 8. And so let's go ahead and add the opposite. Opposites cancel to 0, and you get m here is less than or equal to negative 8 plus 16, which is negative 8. All right, so our reference point is negative 8. It's right here. Okay, less than or equal means that 8 is negative 8 is the solution, and all numbers less than negative 8 lie to the left. Okay, so the reference point at negative 8 closed. All right, it's closed. Why? Because it could be equal to, right? Open is strictly less than. Closed, if you see the equal to sign here, it's got to be closed because negative 8 is less than or equal to, it's equal to negative 8. So we make it closed right here. All right, next one. I'm not going to do the entire homework assignment, but I'll do a few. Okay, I assign the odds, 1 through 19 odds or 1 through 21 odds. You guys are responsible for those. So we got negative 2 is less than or equal to a divided by 3. Well, I notice I said divided by 3, right? So you do the inverse, which is multiplying by 3. Okay, excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay. I'm in the evening here. As you can tell, it's 5:50 in the morning. I'm at home, so I'm doing this on my own time for you guys because I love you guys. Okay, so we're going to multiply by 3. On both sides, 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, and that's less than or equal to a. But as I said before, you got to switch the order. Okay? So if negative 6 is less than or equal to a, that means that a is greater than or equal to negative 6. All right? Notice I switched the inequality there. Pay attention. All numbers greater than or equal to negative 6. Okay, so look at a reference point right there. Okay, negative 6 is a solution because of the equal sign here. All numbers greater than that lie to the right. All right. Number 7, x plus 2/3 is greater than or equal to negative 13/6. All right. Now notice the variable is being added to 2/3, so add its opposite. All right, which is a negative 2/3. Or you can think subtraction, however you want. These opposites cancel out, and you get x is greater than or equal to negative 13/6 minus 2/3. And then you got to combine this. And you can use the three-product rule if you like, or you can, form common denominators, which I think is easier. So I'm going to add the opposite here first. When you subtract, you add its opposite. So what you have is negative 13/6 plus a negative 2/3. Let's form common denominators. And so you have x greater than or equal to negative 13/6 plus negative 4. Look right here. This is negative 4, right? So negative 4/6. So what do you get? X is greater than or equal to negative 17/6. Okay, so what is that? Well, 17 divided by 6 divides twice, remainder 5, all right? So 2 and 5, 6. So x is greater than or equal to negative 2 and 5, 6. Let me just double check my process here. Did I write it down correctly? I think I did. Boom, boom, boom. It's 2 times 12 and then 5. 2, 5. Yeah, I think that's it. So negative 2 and 5, 6 is right here. And it's going to be greater than or equal to that. So we're going to go close right here. And we're going to go to the right. Okay? Let me just check something here. I included the answers in the back, so just so you guys can refer to something here. Here we go. So I just checked that. So I get the same thing right here. And notice that this is negative 3 here, and it's a little bit to the right. So it's kind of hard to see, but it's a little bit... Excuse me, I didn't do that correctly. There you go. Here's negative 3. Oh, shoot. Come on, Ainsworth. So negative 2 and 5, 6 is almost a negative 3. So here's negative 3, and it's a little bit, it's really close to it. Okay, so we're good. All right, so there's that one there. So that one checks out. All right, number 9. Okay, it's extra credit. I'm not going to do that one. Number 11. Okay, I'm not going to do the extra credit problems because that's for you and to challenge you guys. So here we have negative 2/3, all right, less than 2/7 times m. Notice how I wrote it. Okay, I took this and look how I wrote it. 2m divided by 7 is 2/7 m, or 2/7 times m. And notice the key operation, they're being multiplied. So the best way to do this one is to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 7/2. All right, multiply by the reciprocal. Multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so here we go. So the 2's cancel, and you get the negative 7 here. You get, remember there's a negative right here. So you get negative 1 times 7 is negative 7 divided by 3. So negative 7/3 is less than, these cancel, and you get less than m. All right, let's switch the order. M is greater than negative 7/3. So what is that? Well, 7 divided by 3 divides twice with 1 remaining. So m is greater than negative 2 and 1/3. Well, that's a little past negative 2, right? So right here, a little past negative 2, so we're going to go open there, and then to the left. Or excuse me, to the right, because it's greater than. Okay. All right, we are cruising. Okay, so negative 5 halves, less than 5 times n. Notice how I rewrote it. Okay, I took that and I wrote it like this. I put the time symbol in there because it's important for you guys to know that they're being multiplied, as I keep on saying and repeating myself in class, okay? So the inverse of multiplying by 5 is dividing by 5, but watch this. If I divide by 5, this looks complicated. I mean, how you take a fraction divided by 5, right? Most people get stuck here. I've talked to many students yesterday when they were doing homework and they got stuck there. So here's an easier way to handle it. All right, instead of dividing by 5, multiply by the reciprocal. Multiply by the reciprocal. All right, which is 1/5. All right, so 5 times 1/5 is 1. 1 n is n here. And now this right here, we know a positive times a negative is negative, so it's negative. The 5's cancel. So you get negative 1 divided by 2. All right, negative 1 divided by 2. And then you switch the order. Notice that this keeps on happening. So you get n is greater than negative 1/2. And so negative 1/2 is between 0 and negative 1. It's right there. So we go greater than, we open here. This is open. Why? Because there's no equal sign here. And then you go greater than that. Numbers that are bigger than negative 1/2 are like 0, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and so on. So it's got to be to the right. There's no equal sign, it's open. There's an equal sign, it's closed. It's that simple. Okay, next one. Negative 5 is less than 10k. And notice that, let me rewrite it. 10 times k, right? 10k is 10 times k. You guys got to figure that out. Okay, when you do that, when you know that, well, you divide because that's the inverse, right? So negative 5/10 is negative 1/2. You reduce. All right, and then you get negative 1/2 is less than k. Then you switch the order. Notice how this keeps on happening. You got to get used to it. So k is greater than negative 1/2. So negative 1/2 is between 0 and negative 1. All numbers greater than negative 1/2 are to the right. And it's open because there's no equal sign. Okay, I'll do a few more and then I'm going to leave the rest up to you, okay? So the next one here, we got negative 108 is greater than or equal to negative 4 times negative 3 minus 5k. You got to distribute through probably. That might be easier for most people doing it this way. So negative 108 is greater than or equal to positive 12. A negative times a negative is a positive. So negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20k. Okay, so keep track of the signs here. Alright, so keep that in mind. Always keep track of the signs. A negative times a negative is a positive. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. Now, k is being multiplied by 20, and then you're adding 12 to it. So add the opposite first. Negative 108, negative 12 is a negative 20. 120, excuse me. Greater than or equal to 20k, or 20 times k. 20k is 20 times k, so put a dot in the middle. Know that's multiplication. So you're going to divide, right? Because that's the inverse. So you get, well, what's this? Well, you know it's negative because there's a negative sign, right? Cancel out the zeros. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So you get negative 6. And if negative 6 is greater than k, that means k is less than or equal to negative 6. So the reference point is at negative 6, right here. And it's going to be closed because of the equal sign right there, closed. So it's going to be closed there, and all numbers less than or equal to negative 6 slide to the left. Now I'm going a little bit faster than normal, and I'm also, because I'm doing this by myself, and I don't have you in front of me. So if you're smart and you're wise, all right, if I'm going too fast, you pause it and rewind it. So pause, play, Rewind when necessary. All right, rewind. Pause, play, rewind. That's what you got to do. And listen to it multiple times. Listen multiple times. All right. Why? Because some of you guys need to. Yeah, depending on your skill level and how good your education is in middle school years, you might have to listen to it 3 or 4 times. Do whatever it takes. All right. We got -4 plus 4 times quantity m minus 6 is greater than -27 plus 5m. Now we're getting more challenging, right? Because now you got the variables on both sides. And you got to gather the sheep to one side, as my instructor used to say, all right, in college. All right, when you got variables on both sides, you got to collect your like terms. So here we go. Let's draw the division line. So the boundary line is here. That separates the left side and the right side, okay? We got left over here, and we got right side over here. All right, and so let's distribute through the 4 here. We got -4 plus 4m minus 4 times 6, or 24, is greater than -27 plus 5m. We got like terms here, so we got -4 and a -24. That's a -28. So you combine like terms. All right, I'm talking about this one and this one, right? Negative and a negative is a bigger negative. And then you have to add 4m to it, and that's greater than -27 plus 5m. And now the time is to gather your like terms, and or to get your like terms or your variables on one side and constants on the other. All right, you want the constants on one side. Okay, you can get them on the left side, you can get them on the right side, it doesn't matter. You just got to do your algebra correctly. So if you want them on the left side, then you add its opposite. Now personally, I would, if you choose to get your m's on the left side, because notice they're canceled on the right here, so I got them on the left, then you save time, you get your constants on the right. So the opposite of a -28 is a +28. And notice how I'm lining up like terms. All right, those cancel. So that's 0, obviously, and 0, and then 4m minus 5m is a -m, greater than. Those cancel to 0. These cancel to 0. 28 minus 27, or -27 plus 28 is the same thing as 28 minus 27, which is 1. So now you have this, and you got to cancel with the negative. So that's easy. You divide both sides by -1, and you get m is, ooh, look at this, less than. You got to switch the inequality. Why? Because you divided by negative. Okay, these cancel, and 1 divided by negative is 1, right? So this is open. So you have the reference point's -1. It's right here. So you go open there. And all values less than -1 lie to the left. Then you check it, all right, and then you just turn the page. Ooh, going a little too fast here. Oh, what number was that? That was 19, so let's check 19. M less than -1, see? All right, checks out. Okay, I'll do one more. What the heck? Okay, so here we go. So 2 times quantity x plus 5 is less than 4 times quantity x plus 4. Distribute through, you got 2x plus 10 is less than. Distribute through here. So I distributed through twice. Distribute through twice. I've got 4x plus 4 times 4 is 16. All right, remember. And then now here's where you add the opposite again. So the opposite of -4x is, excuse me, that is the opposite. Opposite of 4x is -4x. So notice that I add it to both sides. Now, do 2 things at once. If you get your variables on the left, you got to get this 10 on the right. You got to get your constants on the right. See, these cancel, these cancel. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. So negative 2x is less than. 16 minus 10 is 6. Okay, and be careful here. You divide by a negative. Divide by a negative. Alright, you got to switch the inequality here. And let's see what happens. So I'm going to divide by negative 2 on both sides. Alright, and I get x is greater than, let me see, 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3. And notice that I switched the inequalities. I went from less than to greater than. Okay, that's important that you do that. And so this is going to be open at negative 3 and to the right. So find your reference point, which is right here, and then all numbers that are greater than always lie to the right. Alright, and then you check it. That was 21. 21's right here. Oh yeah, that's right. So x is greater than negative 3. Alright, x is greater than negative 3 here. So we're good. Alright, and that's how you do it. That's all your homework here, guys. I assigned the odds last night. Alright. And if you need help, again, you always pause. Alright, the video. Rewind if you need to. Alright, and then play it again and listen to it multiple times. That's really key. Use the videos wisely and use them to your advantage. Okay? Okay, so we're not there yet. So let me see. So this lesson started on lesson 7, right? I went over a bunch of examples, but then your homework, that's where you start having fun, because now you're on your own. Alright, so go back through it. Do your best, put some effort into it, and those who work hard will strive for the A. And this is Ainsworth. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.